you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Ami Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Ami Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Back here in the studio, and man, let me tell you what a weekend it was at the Mint 400. For those of you that tune in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show live from Fremont Street on Friday, thank you very much for that. Great numbers and a great time. We're supposed to do 2 hours of radio, and we pushed that way back, almost 3 full hours of radio there from the Polaris RZR booth. Myself, my co-host Ami Houde, holding it down there on Fremont Street. Good times had by all. We'll definitely get into talking about that later on in the show. But first off, got to talk a little bit about our guest list today. Kicking things off here in about 15 minutes, we've got my good friend and back-to-back winner of the Mint 400, Justin Lofton, calling into the show. Justin, just an amazing run there at the Mint 400, back-to-back wins. He'll be on air, breaking it down, talking to you about it, letting us know what it's like to walk away with 2 brand new RZRs. And then we've got later on in the show my good friend Cynthia Gauthier. She's going to be calling in, Monster Jam driver, and she's heading into the World Finals, coming off a big victory. So we're going to all have all that and more today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back right after this break.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And I got to tell you, man, it was good times had by all at the Mint 400 this past weekend. Man, I got to tell you, that event, we've said it before, we've hyped it up. It definitely leaves nothing on the table. Kicking things off Wednesday all the way through Sunday. There's stuff going down everywhere. This year in particular, my good friends at Red Bull Las Vegas brought out the VIP red carpet treatment for, I believe, like 300 to 500 guests, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, it was just amazing. DJ out there at Prim. I mean, red carpet treatment. You know, the white leather couches. It was over the top for the lucky fans that were able to get in on that. But just the event overall. I mean, the things on Fremont Street. It was and we're definitely going to get into this later on in the show. You know, when Ami Houde calls in, you know, she was down there, and this second year in a row, she's been able to take it all in. So we're definitely going to dive into that in particular. But man, it's just. You know, you love seeing things like this with our industry. I mean, you know, and man, we're firing on all cylinders. Just crazy. I mean, you look at this year in particular and what we've seen so far. I mean, you kick things off, and we're just talking the off-road industry, you know, and not necessarily the rally and everything else, but kick things off and, you know, and you know, you've got a few UTV events and stuff like that, smaller. You got the Best Nez at Parker 425, huge field. And then you roll right into the UTV World Championship, enormous field there. And then you roll and I'm forgetting the you know, 10,000-pound gorilla in the room. I talked about the Parker 425. We didn't even talk about King of the Hammers. You know, King of the Hammers, that is become, you know, literally the largest off-road event. I don't know, that, and, you know, I would say that, Crandon, Mint 400, Baja 1000. Those are your big four in North America. You know, you factor in Dakar, and obviously, you know, things get out of hand in a hurry. But, yeah, it's just tremendous, you know, these events to kick the year off. So you've got King of the Hammers and Parker, and then you roll right into the UTV World Championship. Now we've got the Mint 400. You know, and then and we're rolling right in this coming weekend. We got the Lucas Oil kickoff out there in Phoenix, you know, for short course, you know, and I know, you know, those guys, there's a lot of guys double dipping. My good friend Ray Griffith, you know, he's you know, he was running one and going immediately to Phoenix to kick off the short course program now. And, man, it's just a lot of events to start the year. You know, we're 2.5 months into the year, and, man, it seems like we should be 2/3 of the way through the year. It's just tremendous, you know. And then you add in everything else that's going on. I mean, Supercross, and you know, GRC's getting ready to kick off. You know, Rally America's got a big event this coming weekend at 100 Acre Wood. Snowcross is winding things down. But man, Action Motorsports right now, it's a good time to be involved, being out there, seeing the vendors. I mean, talking miles. And I say that, I mean, literally, you know, if you count both sides of the street, we got miles of vendors lined up there on Fremont. I mean, you know, it's a hike to hike from one end of Fremont to the other. And I did it. I don't know how many times, but I got to tell you, I was worn out. My legs were tired at the end of Friday. contingency is at the Mint is like no other. And, it's, man, and I actually went all the way down to the end, was talking to some of the vendors on the end of Fremont, saying, hey, what's up? And is this hurting you being down here? They're like, heck no, this is great. Traffic's huge. And I said, you get all the way up, to Fremont up, at the start, and geez, it's so congested, and and that's where we were posted up with doing live radio. But man, if you're claustrophobic, you don't want to be out there. A lot of people were enjoying being farther down, I guess, and and being able to breathe a little bit. But man, it was good times had by all for sure. And man, it's just, not only do you have the official functions that are going on, but, there's all kinds of parties going on, thrown by third parties. And man, it's just crazy. So if you haven't been out to the Mint 400 yet, I don't know, man, book your vacation time now. You are definitely missing out on one of the best events of the year, and to be honest with you, the crazy thing about the Mint is you can go and take in everything and probably never even get out to the racetrack. That's what's crazy about the whole deal. It's just maddening. But I personally had a good time out there. Enjoy going to the Mint. As you guys know, probably seen already, I did not race. I was scheduled to race. I was on the entry list. I did not race. A lot of reasons for that. We're definitely not going to get into them. But I didn't race that one. We will definitely be at the next one though, and kind of a bummer. Hate missing out on the biggest race of the year, but there was a lot of reasons for it, and it was the right decision not to rush things, and and sit this one out. So regretfully, I didn't participate, but still was out there. Still had my Razor on display, and did a little bit of radio. Had the opportunity to announce the festivities down there on Fremont Street on Thursday night. Those of you who were there know that I definitely wasn't at 100%, talking more like 30% maybe. I was fighting a cold, and I kicked the cold, but when I kicked the cold, my throat just didn't want to cooperate. So, throat didn't want to cooperate, and, and I was losing my voice. And when you're an MC, you definitely don't want to be losing your voice. So, as you'll see today, I'm a little raspy. Good news for me is by Friday and Saturday, I had to MC the event Saturday as well. Scott Rain, the legend Bob Bowers as well. Us three were kind of holding it down out there, and did a little bit of a live stream. And, I guess the fortunate thing was it came back for Saturday. Friday, I was lucky enough to have a co-host, Ami Houde, who was there. And I got to tell you, I don't really praise her on air too often, but the girl stepped up for me, and definitely appreciate that. She carried the show. Those of you tuned in, she did a great job. I mean, I was there as well, but she definitely stepped up because I literally could not talk. But, Mint 400, man, it was a great one. And, and we'll definitely get into more of that later on in the show. Got Justin Lofton. We got some results to get to. Obviously, we'll be talking that and Supercross with Ami Houde later on. And then Cynthia Gauthier. I got to say, Monster Jam in town in Vegas this weekend. It's coming. It's Monster Jam World Finals time. And what I thought was pretty cool is all the Monster Jam drivers came in like a week early for Monster Jam. Obviously, this week is all promotion for the big event, World Finals, where they throw it down. That's where you see just the crazy shenanigans those guys are known for. And I know we don't talk monster trucks on this show, much, but it was cool. I got to hang out with a lot of the drivers. David Bradshaw, got to meet him. Cole Vernard, who drives a Gravedigger truck. A lot of the drivers were out there. It was kind of cool, get to talk with them, and and they're just as interested in desert racing as we are in monster trucks. And it was definitely good times had by all out there. Got to see what they're doing. But if you're in Vegas, I guess you just keep rolling with the events there, man. 3 weekends in a row. You got you had the big fight with Misha Tate. You've got the Mint 400. You got Monster Jam World Finals. Man, it's cranking cranking it for sure in Las Vegas these past couple of weeks. Seems like something's always happening there. But I am happy to say, our Las Vegas listeners, if you're listening online live, I will be posted on the website later today, but our national syndication with Sports Byline, stoked to announce that we are actually on air in the Las Vegas market on terrestrial radio now, so you have to check our website for those listings, but definitely stoked on that. Vegas, a big action motorsports market, so stoked for us to be on air in Las Vegas. But we are going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, Justin Lofton, your 2016 Mint 400 champion, is going to be calling into the show, and we're going to be breaking down all the action from Saturday. All that and more still to come.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to welcome my first guest to the line. We're going to kick things off in a big way today with my good friend and your 2016 Mint 400 champion, back-to-back champion, Justin Lofton.
Hey, thanks for having me on today. Definitely an amazing weekend we just went through.
I got to tell you, man, I know it was amazing for you for sure. I mean, you won last year. Coming into this year, I mean, I know, they were literally looking back in the record books on the last lap going, has this thing ever happened where somebody's taken a back-to-back? And at this point, I don't think it has. I mean, we're going to have to dig really deep into, into history to find, where this has happened. But not only that, you guys put it on the pole on Thursday. and then turn around, back it up. And I know you said at the finish line you would have liked to said you let it wire to wire, but you were about as close to leading wire to wire as you possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very tough, very fun race. I mean, it was just tough in the fact that, there's so many great drivers and so many great trucks out there now. I think there was 5 of us up until maybe 40 or 50 miles left to go in the whole race. We're still basically in vision of each other. I mean, whether I looked in my rearview mirror, they were looking out their window, we were all, able to keep track of each other. And so it definitely, put the pressure on and really, it was all about not making mistakes and having, timely, really executed pit stops. And unfortunately, that's where, we lost the lead was our radio communication. We had great radio communication all day, but just the information that was given to me in the truck wasn't quite what I needed to. And we let Bryce get a little too close to us on the first lap. And he ended up getting us in the pits, and I don't know how much fuel he carries, but, man, we had to pit 3 times for fuel during that race, and he only pitted once. So, something that we're definitely going to look into and work on. But, man, it was just a lot of fun, and I sure didn't want it to end, but I'm glad it did because Andy was charging hard too.
Yeah, that's another thing. You mentioned 2 things in that, just now, and one was pit strategy because – going into this thing, I was like you, and obviously I wasn't able to race. We had some problems with the truck and testing, and so we regretfully, didn't make the biggest race of the year. But when we were laying out our pit plans, it was just like you, 3 pits, every lap, fuel tires, and after the first lap, I'm watching this strategy, and I'm going, man, what are these guys doing? And like you said, Bryce, and I think there may have been 1 or 2 others that they had a total different pit strategy than everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. And it's tough. We opted for that plant. We opted for it when we built the truck. We wanted to build a light truck and a little truck, and part of that is not carrying as much fuel as we possibly could. And so we made it work out for us. You might have to drive a little bit harder to make up that lost time in the pits, but having that lighter, more nimble truck, definitely paid off going through the rocks. I believe the guys behind me might have had some flat tires, and, I think some of that's because they weren't running their BF Goodrich KR2s on their trucks, but, they had mechanical failures. They had, power steering pulleys falling off or belts and racks being ripped off of bulkheads. And the course out there is brutal, and even if it was somewhat bladed or groomed like some people were saying, that just means we get to that softer dirt quicker and the rocks get bigger, and it was all about, keeping your nose clean all day.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned Andy earlier, and I know going in, we were about 100 miles left, 80 miles left in the race, and, it was literally 5 cars. There was you, there was Andy, there was Rob Mack and Bryce, and then Parkhouse was a little ways back, but because of where he started, it sounds like he was right there, on time for overall contention. And, as it played out, they started dropping out, and about 50 miles to go, it was you and Andy left, and, you started 1 and 2, and there was that 60-second window between the two, and I know it was, if you finished, more than 60 seconds ahead of him, it went to you, and I got to tell you, man, it was a nail biter. It came down to the wire.
Yeah, I don't think you want to win a race by much less than 42 seconds. I know back in my dad's day, I believe we overalled the Prim 300. I think it was 2003 or something like that by 1 second. And, that's just cutting it a little too close for me. If it was my fashion, we would have had about a, 5-minute lead or something like that and had some time to celebrate. But, heck, I'm going to take them any way we can get them, and they're tough to come by. And we sure found, we found that out last year with a couple of bad wrecks we had. But we've rebounded really good, and thankfully Fox and BF Goodrich and Jimco have stood behind me, and Derek got back in the truck, and we were able to come back out on top.
Yeah, and that being said, I mean, it seems like Trophy Truck now, you talk about races won by seconds, and it seems like each and every race, I mean, they're getting closer and closer. I mean, this is crazy. And you obviously have done, NASCAR thing and been, very successful over there. But, I mean, in desert racing, specifically trophy truck, we're talking 10 years ago, it was like, if you finish the race, you knew you're guaranteed a top 5, maybe even a podium. I mean, now it's, 110% from the drop of the green flag. And a race like the Mint, you don't want to push these trucks that hard over this terrain, but we have to now.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's where the bigger budgets are coming in, and the guys back at the shop that are having to take a little more time to make sure everything is just finely tuned and perfect, and the guys that assemble these trucks are the true unsung heroes of our wins, and the guys that get the least amount of credit for sure. And I was actually just at the shop back at Jimco where my truck gets taken care of, and those guys were just, super pumped about the whole thing. And fortunately, some of them are back, they don't get to go to the race and watch because they're either putting other people's vehicles together, building new ones, or, they spend so much time. We require so much overtime out of them that's their only time they either get a chance to mow their yard or catch up with their kids or be able to go enjoy some personal time. So those are the guys that, got to be on their A game day in and day out. And, when it comes down to, the driver's part of it, it's the 5 or 6 or 10 or 18 hours, whatever that race requires that, we have to be on it. But those guys are the ones that are tightening every bolt and are the ones that are going to win and lose a race for you.
It really is. I was standing there and, I think it was Cameron and I were talking when we were up there at the Pit Crew Challenge, and it truly is remarkable, that unlike anything else, you take a pile of tubing literally and metal and craft these trucks that can go 130 miles an hour, over 3-foot whoops. But just like you said, it's the guys back in the shops. I mean, these trucks are remarkable in what they can do, but it can be a 10-cent part, that literally costs you the entire race.
Yeah, we had at our Parker, our whole Parker race was thrown away just because of two bolts that were put together, were put in right, and we've never had any kind of mechanical failure on it, and they just happened to back themselves out, and they're not they're the tiniest of bolts, and they just torque converter came loose and started bouncing around inside the bell housing and wreaked havoc on everything else and left us sitting there on the desert, and not anyone's fault, just one of those things that happens, and it can happen. There's thousands of bolts on these things and nuts that need to be tightened and checked, and a number of things that can go wrong. So it's absolutely remarkable what we put them through, and they're still running at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the truth. It is truly remarkable. I got to ask, you've transitioned now. I mean, you were one of the top teams in Class 1. And now you've transitioned into trophy truck, and obviously this is your second year now running a trophy truck. I mean, how has that transition been for you? I mean, obviously you've had some success now, winning a couple of the big races, but from a driver's standpoint, I mean, how was that transition from the open wheel car with a sequential gearbox into what you're running now?
It's the transition's actually it's been a rough one and a pretty expensive one, unfortunately. But a lot of it is just a little bit of bad luck and not quite knowing exactly what you need when the buggy's so light and nimble and have so much horsepower that you can get yourself out of a lot of trouble. Where the truck has a lot more mass and a lot more swinging weight, especially with the tires and the fuel cell hanging over the rear end. That once you get that thing moving, it's pretty tough to control it and stop it. So that's been the biggest learning hurdle that I've been going through. But I think we've got it under control with Fox Shocks. We've always been great partners together, but they really came on board big this year with me, and we've done a couple solid tests, and they've helped me a lot to understand the truck. And we've made some other just small, minor body changes in the truck that gave me more visibility that I was used to in with the buggy, and just the horsepower and knowing what they need, and knowing that you don't have the nimbleness of the buggy that you can work with. Everything's got to be a lot more fluid, a lot more slow, and really more precise, because if you miss something, the results are catastrophic. And so it's it's been fun, and I'm really happy that I've got a hold of it, and I'm looking forward to many, many years of racing in the number 41 truck.
Yeah, and you mentioned something there, and you said the word precise, and and you're not the only guy that's said that to me. It seems like anybody that's made the transition. It seems like in trophy truck you can be a little bit sloppier and still be fast, but with the buggies, it really is a precision thing. I mean, they're very precise, almost like a rally car to drive.
Yeah, they're so light, and you're usually running a bigger tire. I mean, we're practically running the same size tire when it comes to the contact patch that we run on a truck, and so my buggy was like 4,800 pounds with 2 people in it race ready, and the truck's almost 6,000 pounds with 2 people in it race ready, and you can just see the difference. And you turn the steering wheel and the buggy will turn, where you turn the steering wheel on a truck, and it's going to take a little bit for it to turn, whether it's the body roll or just the sheer mass of it pushing it forward. So you definitely have to be on top of it that way, and time everything just a little bit sooner. And in the truck versus the buggy, and the buggy you can drive in deep, go, oh man, I need to stop and hit the brakes, and the thing stops, or oh man, I need to get on the gas, and it gets on the gas and goes. Where the truck, it's momentum, and you got to be really good at figuring out where you need to be, a couple hundred feet, because it's going to take you a while to get the thing to move.
All right, Justin, we got to take a short commercial break. I know you're going to hang out, and we'll be back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, after this break.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The hotel is waiting, and your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's spring room special, starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th, based on availability. Tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. All right, welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We got the 2016 Polaris RZR Mint 400 champion, Justin Lofton on the line, back-to-back champion. I know that's got to sound pretty good, Justin.
Yeah, it does. It took a little bit for it to sink in, but it's definitely cool, and it's taken the family definitely jumped on, recognized it, and jumped on the excitement a lot sooner than I did. Where I'm still just trying to analyze and break down everything that happened in the race, and why it was so close, or what different difference I could have made throughout the day, and to make it work out a little, work out differently, not the end result, but throughout the day. And so now Monday's been a pretty exciting day for me. And I think we have a group text with all the team on it, and we all started texting each other about 7 or 8 o'clock this morning. And it's been really exciting. It's a really cool thing we did, and hopefully we can back it up with going out and getting a few more wins this year.
Yeah, well, and I got to ask you, you talked about that and kind of, I guess I don't want to say decompressing, but debriefing after the event. And, and I know there's a lot of, desert teams that do that. But, I got to ask, you spent so much time in NASCAR. Now you've come back to your roots. Is there a lot of that, you've run at those such elite levels of motorsport? Not to say trophy truck is an elite level, but it's just different. Is there a lot you've been able to draw on to make your program better in the desert?
Yeah, definitely. My experience in NASCAR and the little bit of Grand Am stuff I did has really brought a lot to it as far as race strategy, race planning, and just being a team leader. We run on a micro budget compared to a lot of other teams, and we don't race with a helicopter, and we don't carry a lot of spare parts with us. We were having to move tires around from pit to pit when I called for a tire change halfway through the race, and we normally were running the TA tires, and the traction just wasn't quite there in certain parts of the track that I needed it, that when Bryce got around me, I knew I was going to need to be able to get out of the hole a little bit faster. And so I called for a tire change, and we had one tire in one pit, one tire in another pit, and we're moving guys around, and so knowing what I've done and how I've done it in structured teams in the past has been able to allow me to race against a big budget team on half the budget, and not bring an excessive amount of people. And it's definitely changed. It's different. I look at it differently than I think a lot of people do. And like I said, Saturday and Sunday, I was spending more time going over the whole race in my head than I was out celebrating and partying and, doing whatever the rest of, my crew guys did, or what other competitors would do, just to know, how do we get better next race? Because everyone behind us is going to do the same thing and go, how do we catch him? So I want to stay, 1 or 2 steps ahead of everyone.
Yeah. Well, that being said, obviously, when you left NASCAR, you were still running at a very high elite level. I know, just expenses are astronomical, up there running, even the truck series like you were doing. Is there any chance, if the door opens, you'd like to go back there? Are there any plans to go back, to pavement racing?
Yeah, I don't have any plans at the moment. I definitely like to go out and do a small part-time, schedule for sure, run some of the bigger tracks if I could. And I've stayed in contact with a lot of people, and, the seats are always there when you come with the funding. And so it's just finding that right person that wants to get into it and do it and, be a part of it and go racing, go stock car racing. But right now, the trophy truck is my main focus when it comes to racing, and we're going to continue to make our program, better and faster, and do that, and then try to keep all my cattle fat and happy, and keep the world happy.
Yeah. Well, that being said, what's on tap for you the rest of 2016? You're running the full Best in the Desert series. I'm assuming any chance we see you down in Baja at all? What are your plans?
Yeah, our plans right now are the full 2016 Best in Desert series, and then we're hoping that we can go be a part of the Baja 1000 this year, and go down there and see how we stack up, racing down in Mexico, and But we'll see. We got to see how the points play out. And like I said, we're on a pretty small budget, so we don't have a spare drivetrain or a lot of spare parts. So when we take things off the truck, they got to go out and get fixed before we reassemble it. And that seems to take some time. And so we'll just kind of play it out and see. And hopefully things happen here in the next couple months that will allow us to go down and compete with those guys and show them that I can go down and run in Mexico too.
Yeah. Well, and I got to ask, I mean, your dad, he's won, a ton of races, and I mean, he's an accomplished racer in Class 1. I mean, he's sitting there, I mean, something like the Baja 1000, do you bring him in to run the truck with you? Does he have any interest in jumping back behind the wheel?
He has a lot of interest and he keeps threatening that when we go out and test that he's gonna get in the truck, and we take his helmet and gear all the time, and he just never seems to do it. And I think he's having a lot of fun being the crew chief or on the sidelines and making pit calls and hanging out with his buddy Mike Jolson. And but there's definitely the seat's always open for him. There's not a doubt in my mind that he wouldn't get in it and be very competitive. And so we'll see. I know we still have the Class 1 car sitting at the shop, and I know Nora's coming up here pretty quick, so maybe I can get him on the entry form this year, if not for sure next year, and let him go out there and have some fun.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, him hanging out with Mike Jolson, I don't know if that's good. Those two guys, I could only imagine the brainstorms they come up with, together in the pits.
Oh yeah, but they're changing it up halfway through, and I was sitting on the radio like, okay, you're going to pit here now, so we don't have to take the extra 15 seconds to put fuel in the truck at main pit. We're going to put tires on you. Wait, no, we're not going to put tires on you because we don't want to wait for tires. And man, it was the second lap all the way through it. We were talking back and forth the entire time, and it sure made it fun. But at the end of the day, we all made the right call together as a team, and we'll just keep going.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I got to ask before we let you go, but you not only all the prize money, back-to-back Mint 400 champions, walking away with a couple of Polaris Razors. I know one for you, one for your co-driver. You guys got to be pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, we are. We're actually trying to make plans on when we're going to make our first trip out, and before it gets too hot down in Glamis, and we'll see what we do. Hopefully, we'll get some new trail-ready beadlocks for it, and I think Fox has hopefully already got our shocks boxed up, and I was just talking to Jimco and told them we need some arms for them, and so it's definitely going to be a lot of fun building them up, and hopefully we'll probably put some special decals on them because they are trophies at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come on air, buddy. Congratulations once again on back-to-back Mint 400s, and we'll definitely have to catch up soon. We need to do it more often than once a year, I guess. I think last time we had you on was last time you won the Mint 400.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm definitely going to take you up on that. Hopefully it's around the May 8th. 7 time frame is when next time I'm on.
All right. Laughlin Desert Challenge, right? Yeah, you definitely take that win. We'll have you back on for sure, my friend.
Sounds good.
All right. Take it easy, Justin. Talk soon.
Thanks, Jim.
Awesome catching up with Justin Lofton. Just a good guy and been around the industry for a long time. His dad, it's funny talking about that. His dad, just an absolute legend in desert racing circles. Won a lot of races in Class 1 and score, and that was we're talking vintage days before Best in the Desert was around, but. Just a family of good people and been around the sport for a long time. And, Justin, as we talked about, he's gone and won races in NASCAR, and, now he's kind of come back to his roots, and I think just running at the NASCAR level, at the elite level that Justin was doing was just crazy expensive. Not that desert racing is cheap, but, you decide you want to go NASCAR racing and, I don't care how deep your pockets are, you better have double that at least. Just crazy expensive. So great catching up with Justin. Just a good dude. I've known him for a long time. Him and I were Speed Energy at the same time, and got to know him a bit there. And just a good cat, definitely. But we gotta get to some of these results here. obviously, we'll start out with the limited cars, and gotta give everybody their due that won. Obviously, we had Justin Lofton with the victory. A few seconds back of him, we had Andy McMillan. Great race by those two. Jason Voss rounding out your overall and trick truck podium. Brett Serapis, I believe this was his debut race in trophy truck, so solid effort by him. Or maybe his second race in trophy truck. Regardless, Brett Serapis, great effort there, finishing fourth overall, fourth in trick truck. B.J. Baldwin rounding out your top 5. Cody Parkhouse down there in 7th was your first 1500 or Class 1 finisher. 7th overall. He was making a push for the overall there for a while, and then had some struggles on the last lap. But Parkhouse was literally, he was flying in that 1500 car. Second in 1500, Sam Baldy. Down there, 16th overall. 17th overall and third in 1,500 was Scott Bailey. Your first 6,100 truck was Christian Serapis, taking the victory in Class 6,100. Going down there, second in 6,100 was Alex Gonzalez. Continuing down, some more results. Your 7,200 class winner was Troy and Gary Messer. Second in 7,200 was Dallas Luttrell, and maybe it for the afternoon classes. Just trying to flip through here and see, do we have any 8,000 finishers? No, it doesn't look like we had any official 8,000 finishers. So definitely a bummer for the Class 8,000 guys. Unless I'm missing something, doesn't look like we have. Yeah, we did. Sorry, Chris German. The German's taking the victory in Class 8,000. I stand corrected. Seems like it's happening more often than not lately, right? Going to the morning races, the limited classes. I call them limited, but not necessarily totally limited. Some of these classes can flat fly like the Class 10 cars. But Nick Carolyn taking the victory in Class 2400, first overall in the morning group. Roger Starkey, second overall, first in Class 10 in the morning group, followed by TJ Tolles. Jason Coleman, that was second and third in Class 1000. Going down there to our UTV results, my boy B-Money Brandon Sims taking the victory in the turbo class in his Polaris Razor. Man, this kid has won just about anything you can possibly win in a Razor. Definitely a solid effort. Wayne Matlock finishing up second in turbo. Justin Lambert, third overall in the UTVs, first in production. And Kristen Matlock, second in production. So the Matlocks taking second places in both turbo and production class. Got to have a lot of respect for the Matlocks for that. Solid effort by them. Looking down at a few of the other winners, Brad Wilson, 1100 winner. Todd Jackson, Trophy Light. Kevin Smith, Class 2000. Reed Rutherford, Class 3000. Other victories, we had David Martinez in Unlimited UTV. And Eric Miramon, Class 4400. Vintage class, Todd Richards. And we had Alex Alvarez in Class 11 with the victory. So big shout-out to all of them. It's been a great Mint 400. And we're definitely going to talk about it more in the show. But right now we're going to cut to a short commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking some Rally America coming up this weekend.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, rocking and rolling with another episode of your favorite action motorsports radio show. Right now we're going to roll right into our Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. And that being said, heading into the Oregon Trail Rally late April, David Higgins' world-renowned co-driver Craig Drew is going to be at Dirtfish. He is going to be putting on a co-drivers clinic. I don't know if Craig's done these before, but if he has, it's definitely been a while. But not often that you get to sit down with a world-class co-driver like Craig Drew and him tell you his speed secrets. David Higgins calls him the voice of speed for a reason. Definitely not very expensive either. Get on up to Dirtfish. All the information is on their website as well as their social media if you if you want to get in on that. But definitely, if you're an off-road co-driver, rally co-driver, I would say get up to Seattle, sit down with Craig Drew for 2 days, and it will definitely raise your game for sure. But right now, this weekend, Salem, Missouri, Rally in the 100-acre wood. Round 2 of the 2016 Rally America National Championship is going off, and it is definitely going to be going off big. Huge entry list. David Higgins, Craig Drew, they're there. Travis Pastrana, he is in the house. Nick Roberts, and Nick is teaming with Alex Gelsomino in that Subaru. And we got Lachlan O'Sullivan, last year's champ. Peter Fatelli, your Snowdrift winner. Jeff Seahorn, he's coming out in his super production car from the West Coast. Troy Miller. Gary Gill, we haven't seen Gary Gill in quite some time. A few rallies. He's going to be there. Cameron Steely's going to be there. Ryan Millen. I'm just looking down this. This is the who's who of stage rally in the U.S. Steve LaRosa. Gosh, man, we got a stack field of B-specs. I think like 5 deep in B-spec, which, doesn't happen very often. But I'm just telling you, if you are a stage rally fan this weekend, it's going off. And we're going to have your coverage with Rally America Radio. That's for sure. So we're going to take a short commercial break. We come back. We're going to be previewing hour number 2, and we're going to have Cynthia Gauthier live on the show. All that and more on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, and man, it has been a great one so far. Justin Lofton, 2016 Mint 400 champ. Your 2015 Mint 400 champ. Man, not relinquishing that crown at all. He has he's made an appearance on the show, talking a lot of off-road racing and a little bit about family life and some NASCAR and whatever else. But been a great hour number one. But heading into hour number two, man, we are going to ramp things up a notch. Cynthia Gauthier, she's going to be calling in just a few minutes. I'm proud of myself for getting that name right. It took me I've known Cynthia for a couple of years now. It took me like a good year to figure that out. Obviously, she's French-Canadian. Got that Gauthier. You'll see when we talk. She gets excited, and the French accent really gets heavy. But good people. Known her and her boyfriend Joe Sylvester for quite some time. And definitely good people. Getting excited to catch up with her, talk a little Monster Jam. And then got a little more Mint 400 talk, and we got to talk some Supercross. Ami Houde is going to be holding it down with me here on hour number two. We are definitely going to get into some Supercross talk. And speaking of Supercross, I know a lot of you play our fantasy Supercross game. Sorry to say, and I appreciate KMC Wheels' support the past 2 years, the game has been taken down, not by choice and not because the Fantasy Action Sports League wanted to, but if you read the news, you'll see that the fantasy sports industry has become under fire by the U.S. government, and they're shutting all these websites down. Now, obviously, no money exchanged hands in this in the Down and Dirty Radio Show Fantasy Supercross, but wheels were exchanging hands to the winner, which have a value of over $1,000. And so the entire thing's been shut down. The website's been shut down because they couldn't afford the licensing fees to keep it up and running. So I know there's some other sites. Rocky Mountain ATV has a website, and they're giving away prizes. I don't know how they're doing it. But if you are a fantasy Supercross fan, I would say get over there and play. I think it's only a matter of time before they get shut down as well. It's just a sad state we live in. Somebody, works hard, makes money, and it gets taken away. But such is life. So I'm very sorry to say that after 2 years, we're getting like 400 players a week. It has been shut down. So we will definitely see if we can get something going for next year. But it is what it is, people. Get mad at the government, not me. But we're going to take a short commercial break. We come back. Cynthia Gauthier, she's going to be on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Got my good friend hanging out in the queue. We're going to pick her up. We got Monster Jam World Finals coming up this weekend. Got my good friend Cynthia Gauthier, driver of the Monster Mutt Dalmatian monster truck, on the line. Did I get the last name right? Got to ask you.
Yeah, you did.
All right. I've been practicing. So that being said, this is a big week for you. Monster Jam World Finals. I mean, in your world of monster truck racing, this is as big as it gets.
Oh, yeah, it's the biggest show. It's a world final. So, the best of the best going to be part of that show. So I hope people are ready in Vegas.
Yeah, it's every year. I mean, I know you guys travel around the country and around the world doing shows, but it seems like this is the one event that gets the most media attention. I know all week long you're going to have all kinds of media and stuff and build up. But let's kind of take us back to how we got here, because when I understand, not everyone gets invited to the Monster Jam World Finals. But a couple of weeks ago, you took your first overall event victory, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So the way it works, we all have different tour, and this year I was on the tour that I had to race a Speedster, that it's a Polaris, and we had to race this. We had to race the Monster Jam ATV and the Monster Jam truck. So it was 2 different race vehicles, and it was a lot of learning for me. But each show I was getting better, and I keep winning, and it was kind of fun. And how it works as a winner. Get to go to the big show, and I got invited to the Young Gun. So it's actually on Thursday night. It's the race, and it's the fastest you can go in a Monster Jam truck.
Yeah, and and the way they did that, with the overall event victory, where they combine the the Polarises, the ATVs and the monster trucks. I mean, that kind of takes a little from everything in your background, because you started out racing motocross. I know you've done some short course racing in the Torque series. I mean, that kind of tailor made for you. You've got monster trucks, off road, the ATV stuff. I mean, you can pull a little bit from everything in your background.
Exactly. Every experience definitely helped this year. But the ATV was the one that I was most stressed because there's no cage. But actually, for some reason, I started liking it now. I'm starting to win. I think I probably won like 5 races, and I had so much fun on it. So I don't know. I've never been a big fan of ATV, but for some reason this year I started really liking it.
Yeah. Well, and how did you get involved in Monster Jam? I mean, obviously, you race professional motocross. We've seen you in some off-road stuff. I know your boyfriend Joe. Obviously, he's been around the monster truck world for a long time. But how did that door open for you to start driving monster trucks?
It's really, I was a crew in Joe's team, and I was working on the truck, so I started really at a different level, and I was just at the right moment. I need the right person, and I told him, I'm like, you need a French Canadian. I mean, you don't have any Canadian girl. So I got to test drive. They had Monster Jam University in Paxton, Illinois, and I got to test drive a Monster Jam truck, and I actually did pretty good. And so that's how it really started for me. But they have a lot of racers from all different kind of racing background. There's even Barry. He started with RC car. So I mean, everybody has their own little background.
Yeah. Well, and how has it been? I mean, obviously you're getting faster and faster every time you drive one. I mean, do you ever get any practice time, or is it basically when you show up at the venue, you jump in the truck and go? I mean, it's not like there's a test track somewhere, right?
Yeah, we actually had a test track for the last 2 years, and it really helped because they really want the new driver to be more prepared to each show. And we get Tom Mance, one of the biggest names in the industry, teaching us. So it's every time you get the opportunity to go there, I mean, we enjoy it. So usually we do it in summer. We get a week at the Monster Jam University, they call, and you get to, test without any body. So if you roll over, you don't feel so bad about it.
Yeah, well, and how has it been for you traveling? I mean, I know you got to go overseas, and and I know some magazines and newspapers started covering you, and you're kind of like a celebrity now. I mean, how has that been with you? You get to go run these events, in Canada. I mean, I'm sure you got to be the fan favorite there, right?
Yeah, actually, in Canada it was really fun last year. I was missing it a little bit this year, not being my own country, but. Monster Jam is growing a lot, and this year we're doing a full Europe tour. We start with Spain, and we're going to Germany, and it's just crazy. And they have the Australia tour. It's the Monster Jam tour is going to be overseas all summer, so it's going to be pretty exciting for me. The international tour starts from June and November, so it's going to keep me really busy. So it's definitely an experience that I mean, I couldn't have asked for more.
Well, and I know it's got to be exciting for you. Obviously, your boyfriend Joe, you said he kind of helped get you into things. I know he's back, it seems like full-time in Monster Jam now, too. So you guys have been able to travel together and, and do this. It's got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, this year we didn't get to travel much together, but I really hope next year I get to race against him. And I would like to beat my own boyfriend on the track, so that would be one of my goals for sure for next year. He's definitely a really good driver, so I need to step it up a little bit so I can beat him.
Yeah, have you guys looked into it? Has that ever happened in Monster Jam history where, a boyfriend/girlfriend have faced off against each other in a race?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I hope I can do that. It would be really fun.
Yeah,
I would love to be like, yeah, I beat my own boyfriend.
Yeah, I know Joe, too, and he's competitive. He would have no problems crashing into you or wrecking you or anything. I mean, I know him.
No.
The green flag drops, and it's on. Joe doesn't care who he's racing against.
Yeah, you should see when we go-kart together. I try to take him out first lap so I can win. But it's always a lot of fun when we race against each other.
Yeah, for sure. So take us through this week, Monster Jam World Finals. Kind of give us a lowdown. Obviously, you guys got a lot of media, practice, events. I mean, kind of give us a rundown of what this week involves for you. Yeah,
so on Thursday we start, pit party. So we have pit party Thursdays, Friday, Saturday. It's all day. It's going to be fun. It's going to be sunny. So you get to see, I think there's around 100 trucks on display. So it's pretty impressive. And at night, on Thursday night, you have the Young Gun champion, So that's the one I'm competing in. It's racing. It's the fastest racing you can find in the Monster Jam truck. I think we go like 65 or 70 miles an hour, so pretty impressive. And after that, on a Friday night, they have the racing for the big show. And, there's always a little bit of encore to a freestyle with the Monster Jam truck. And on Saturday, it's the biggest event. It's the freestyle, what everybody's waiting for. And there's always, like, cool stuff going on with Tom Mans, too. And, there's going to have a lot of Gravedigger this year. I think there's, like, 4 that qualify for the big show. So it's going to be a really fun show.
Yeah. So, take us through things. I mean, what's it going to take for you to win this week, the Young Gun Shootout? I mean, this is a big deal. I mean, what's it going to take for you to walk away from that, on top?
It's so different than every kind of racing we've been doing all year because it's a 3 lights, so it's actually different. We're used to have just a flag or, go from red to green. Now it's going to be, those drag racing lights. So it's way different. It's going to be a lot of reaction time. So I've been actually practicing on my cell phone on some games to help my reaction. But it's definitely, I think the start is really important. You really have to be quick on the trigger on the start. And it's going to be whoever breaks the latest, I think, and, can come the fastest in the corner and, a lot of control because there's a lot of trucks that they roll. You go so fast in the straightaway and you try to, keep so much momentum in the curve and, the 10,000-pound monster truck just roll over. So it's definitely a lot of technique. Carl the Duke has been just dominated. He's been the fastest on that track. So everybody want to beat him, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we got to wrap things up, Cynthia, but I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck this weekend, and, hopefully we see you walk away with that championship.
Awesome. I hope I get to see you guys.
All right. Thanks, Cynthia. All right. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we come back. We're going to have Ami Houde on the line on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and man, it's definitely been a fun one catching on my good friend Cynthia Gauthier. She's going to be jumping and banging in some monster trucks later this week in Las Vegas at the World Finals. And that's always the fun one to watch. Even if you're not a monster truck fan, World Finals, they throw it down. I think everybody can appreciate monster trucks jumping 30, 40 feet in the air. I think everybody can appreciate that. But right now, my partner in crime, Ami Houde, is on the line. You better bust that if you don't pull that. What is happening, Ami Houde?
Hey, how's it going?
It is going well. Just got done catching up with Cynthia Gauthier, good friend of yours.
Yeah, I'm a fellow Canadian moto chick, of course, actually. So
I know she's getting ready to jump some monster trucks in Las Vegas later this week, and she's got to be one of the nicest people in motorsports, I think.
Oh, she's so cute. And her French accent obviously kind of sells it for everybody else, too, though. But she's super funny, super sweet, and obviously a really, really talented girl, you know, on two wheels or four, and big truck or little.
Yeah, well, that's what's funny talking about it. You know, I was, talking with her. So she used to race motocross, and then now and then she went and raced buggies in the Torque Series in short course, and now she's racing Monster Jam and monster trucks. But now they've got this new deal where not only do you race monster trucks, but you race quads, and you also race Polaris Razors. So she's like, I mean, this is like she's done it all, and this is like perfect fit for her.
Yeah, she does a little bit of everything, which is we've talked about it before, but that's what I like to. Think the cool aspect about being a moto chick is that we can kind of jump from one sport to another. Riding on dirt and two wheels. You really are able to kind of jump to anything and be able to figure it out right away. Like we can adapt pretty well to whatever we're thrown into. So good for her. Good on her, man. I told her all the time, like, anytime you need a fill-in, you let me know. I want to drive one of those big trucks.
Nice. Yeah, that would definitely be some fun. Ami Houde in a monster truck. I don't know, man. That might bring the house down, literally.
Oh, totally. Well, let me have it, please. Let me at least try for once. But it'd be pretty interesting because I know they're, very unique machines, but it'd be really interesting to see. Because, I mean, you guys, like, they do tricks and stunts and, like, all these crazy things, like, in a giant truck. Like, I couldn't even imagine, like, what she's had to learn over the last couple of years. Pretty cool. Good on her. And the fact that she's Canadian, it's awesome to see a girl represent Canada in all aspects of motorsports. And I think she's extremely successful, and I'd love to see what else she has up her sleeve. She does a little bit of everything. So. Yeah,
well, I thought it was pretty cool talking with her. Like, they've got this whole thing they call Monster Jam University now, where before you even drive monster trucks competitively, they send you there and you do all this training at Monster Jam University. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge production. Monster Jam's all over the place, and huge fan base. So I'm sure you can't just jump into it. There's a lot that goes into it, and not just the driving, but the publicity and doing interviews and everything. It's a very, very highly developed show. So I wouldn't doubt it. Be cool. I want to check it out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a highly developed show, you were at the Mint 400. I don't know about highly developed, but you were at the Mint 400 with me. We threw it down on Friday. I mean, this was year number 2 for you at the Mint. What did you think of the whole Mint 400 experience?
Oh, my gosh. It was awesome. This year was even better, and I'm sure next year we'll pop it off again. But the Mint is so interesting because and I saw a quote on my social media about this, and I thought about it, and I'm like, wow, that's so fitting. For some people, the Mint is like the Super Bowl of motorsports. People wait all year. It's highly prestigious. It's been around forever. It's one of those just, iconic races in the desert, big money vehicles, big sexy trucks and buggies and now razors and stuff. And it's cool. It is definitely something that I'm really happy that you introduced me to. But it's such a great spectating sport also because, on Contingency Day, fans can walk down the streets of Las Vegas, Fremont Street there, and get up and close and personal to all these vehicles. And, that's what I think is really cool. And in a lot of other sports, all the factory teams and dirt bikes are behind in the pit area behind a barricade, and you can't even really see what's going on. But here you can actually go up and touch the trucks, and it's really, really cool. And the whole streets are lined with vendors, and it's such a cool show, honestly. And I think for someone who doesn't really know anything about motorsports or knows everything, it's kind of fitting for all aspects of that. So definitely had a blast, and I like how it's spread out throughout the days. So it's not just like a come in, race on Saturday kind of thing like Supercross. It's like there's stuff going on. Thursday night you have the Miss, and Friday you got the Pit Crew Challenge. Saturday you're racing, and Sunday they have award ceremony. Like every day there's something going on, which is cool because you get all the drivers and athletes out the night after the Pit Crew Challenge, usually before Contingency Day, when everyone lines up, and having fun, hanging out, going for dinners. It's cool because everyone comes out to play. I think that's a good way of saying, and you really get to meet everybody and have fun, and I honestly love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Am I selling it on to you guys?
Yeah, well, and I got to say, this year it was cool because where Polaris had you and I posted up on Friday, last year we were kind of tucked in a little bit. This year we were right at the entrance to Fremont Street, so every single person in every single car that came onto Fremont Street had to go by us, and I thought that was cool because we literally got to just sit there and watch 3 hours of everything go by.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, it was good and it was entertaining because we had all these random people kind of running up there.
So random.
Like, can I have an interview? Remember that one person?
Oh, gosh.
I don't remember who it was. I know they were on a competing brand, but it was really funny.
Yeah,
maybe we're going to have to do a little segment where instead of having scheduled people every hour, we'll just be pulling people off the street because it was cool. You never know who was kind of coming by, and the fact that the drivers, push their cars, wait around for a little while, push it a little bit further, to get to that big Mint 400 stage to do tech inspection. We could pull people right out of their car and be like, hey, come sit down with us, chat with us. I think that's definitely going to be something on the radar for next year. Yeah,
well, and that, I agree with you. I think, we had I don't know what it was, 10, 12 scheduled guests. And
wanted to come and chat with us. It was
yeah,
fun.
but we need to be a little more loose. I guess take a renter term and be a little. Our program needs to be loose, and just that way we can pull some people in and out, and just a little more flexibility. But it was even like that. I mean, you and I, we had Cameron Steele who was scheduled to be there, and Renner was hanging out, with Polaris Razor, good friend of both of ours, and I see this opportunity. I'm going, all right. We've got Cameron Steele, the voice of the X Games, the longest tenured TV host in X Games. He's called every motocross event at the X Games, anything with two wheels for darn near 20 years now. I'm like, and then you got Renner, who is one of the most accomplished X Games athletes ever, and Cameron's called every single one of his gold medal runs. I'm like, we have to sit these two guys down together. It wasn't planned. We grab Renner, throw him down next to Cameron, and it was like we could have probably talked for an hour with those two guys. I mean, it was just great, and hearing how Cameron opened the door for Renner's whole career and stuff like that, you don't get anywhere else. You can't script an interview like that. It was just random, and it was great.
Yeah, definitely. And, the fact that we kind of got into talking about moto kids and, now the fact that they're kind of passing down the torch to their kids who are getting involved in the industry and, being a moto kid myself and being able to play kind of the other side. So them as the dad and me as the kid, it was really cool. We got some really cool we got some really cool topics thrown in there, and, you know, we got some good conversation. But it was really interesting to hear, you know, kind of learn about their, you know, their family side, not just their racing side. So, you know, never know what happens at the Mint. It's always crazy. It's always awesome. And I got to be part of the pit crew challenge, too, which was even more awesome for me because I hate spectating. And the Mint, it's challenging because I got to go there and watch everything because it's not my deal. So it's kind of like I'm sitting there, like, ants in my pants, wanting to get involved some way or possible. And I met Ray Griffith, who drives a buggy, and I actually met him that night. I guess a couple of his friends knew who I was and wanted to, like, introduce us as fellow, you know, moto industry people. And, he was like, I'll jump in my car. Let's go in. And I'm like, all right, awesome. And, it was cool that way. Like, everyone is so friendly and welcoming, and even though I'm part of a different industry, your guys' industry just welcomes me in with open arms, and I love it. And it was really cool to be part of the Pit Crew Challenge and, like, be on stage and cheer on, you know, I'd like to say you know, not necessarily the underdogs because they have a huge part in this, but the mechanics, you know, all the guys behind the scenes, and be there with the drivers cheering on the mechanics, and it was really cool. I had a blast. I was getting all heated up, and I felt like it was my team, and I wanted to win so bad.
Yeah, well, and I think that's what's cool about the Pit Crew Challenges is, you know, in off-road and motorsports the same way as motocross. I mean, the guys in the pits and the crew, they never get a chance to shine, but the Pit Crew Challenge at the Mint definitely gives them that opportunity. And I know all the drivers, you know, it's always common knowledge. You know, if Pit Crew wins, they get the money, they get the winnings. It doesn't go to the driver,
yeah.
And that's what's cool. But, hey, we got to take a short commercial break, but I know you're hanging out. We got a ton of Supercross to talk in this next segment, but we'll be back after this short 3-minute break with more Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for. No fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Ami Houde in the house here, and man, it's time to jump into some Supercross. But before we do that, I do have to say I'm gonna say it live on the air, but I got to thank you, Ami Houde, for carrying the show on Friday when I could not talk, and you did a heck of a job, girl, and proud of you. So just got to say that publicly.
Oh, well, thanks, Jim. Yo, soft to you.
Yeah, don't let it get out, right?
Yeah.
No, seriously though, let's talk some Supercross. I know you and I both in Vegas. We really didn't get a chance to tune in. I don't know if you had that DVR'd or what, but I haven't really had a chance other than social media and looking at the updates to get a feel of what went on. But man, Kenny Roczen, Justin Hill looked like they stepped it up a bit.
Yeah, it was a weird Supercross. Like, you know, kind of word on the air is that, you know, yeah, a lot of stuff went down, a lot of weird things. It was kind of one of those races that, you know, totally shook things up. But, I mean, for starters, we have to talk about it right now. Martin Davalos did not line up in Toronto. Our 250 East Coast Supercross current points leader didn't even show up. What does that say now that he's completely out of the running for the championship? And, you know, all of that hard work early on here is kind of worth nothing. And, you know, and unfortunately, I believe it was visa issues. He is from Ecuador. And so I know his sportswear was having a really hard time getting his visa processed. It's been in processing for a year or so. And unfortunately, you know, there's not a problem with him coming into Canada. It's a problem with him getting back into the United States. So I don't know what's wickety-whack with your American law, but, you know, you totally guys blew it for poor Martin Davalos. But, you know, you would think that his team, knowing this, why would they line him up then on the East Coast and not the West Coast where there's no jaunt over to a different country and, you know, jeopardize his whole, you know, race season? So I don't know what they were thinking, but, man, devastating.
Well,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I've got a friend too, and maybe you can explain this because I know a little bit about visas, but I know you've spent some time here in the States, some long sustained time, and I don't know if you had to get a visa or not. But like I had a friend, and as recent as last year, ran into the same thing with a visa. They're from Canada. They couldn't go home to Canada because you know, they were in the U.S., their visa expired, and they couldn't go home to Canada for the holiday because they couldn't get back to the United States to work. So they had to miss the holiday and stay in the United States and not be at home with family only because they didn't want to leave the country because they wouldn't be able to get back.
Yeah, no, it's it's an issue for a lot of, you know, athletes, and it's crazy because in the extreme sports now, I mean, it's a saturated market with, you know, people from all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, Europeans. I mean, look at half of our lineup, Ken Roczen, Marvin Musquin, they're all European, and it's crazy. You know, these guys have to have their ducks in a row before they come over here. They have to get that stuff sorted out immediately. You know, I know these guys who are making a decent amount of money cough up to pay your bills to get your visas. I mean, they should have this lined up before the season even starts. Like, yes, I know it takes a long time to get into processing, but, you know, if you don't have the proper visa before your race season starts and you're traveling to a different country, then, you know, I don't necessarily feel sorry for you. I feel like kind of was a dumb idea. Like, I do feel bad. I think it's terrible. And that just means that he puts Jeremy Martin in the opportunity for the win, which, you know, my feelings on that. And Martin's worked so hard, okay? And, you know, this was his year. And, you know, this was the year for poor Martin, and it is gone. It's out the window. Sorry, too bad.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, the sad part is, I mean, Supercross, we're talking elite level motorsport. You know, this is the top. As far as, you know, two-wheel racing, I mean, this and MotoGP is right up there. And it's like, I don't know if it was a fail on him or his people, but it was a complete and total fail all the way around. I mean, this is something that doesn't slip through the cracks. I mean, it's just, to me, somebody's getting fired over this deal.
I was just going to say that. Someone's getting fired.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a great lawyer in Southern California. Her name is Becky Mendoza. She's with Action Sports Law Group. She does all my friends, surfers, wakeboarders, snowboarders, all of these Olympic athletes that I know travel to California. Reach out to her if you guys are struggling for a visa. Again, that's Becky Mendoza with Action Sports Law. She is the girl to go to with athlete visas. I know you can get them for extended periods of time. She's extremely fast.
You know what?
And, you got to get it done.
I know of Becky. I don't know her, never met her, but I know of her. Let's get her on the show next week. Maybe she can kind of explain what's going on. Let's reach out to her and see.
Cool. I'll reach out to her, but
I think she'd be a rad interview.
Friends of mine. What's that?
I think she'd be a rad interview because she handles contracts and all kinds of stuff. I mean, she'd be a rad interview, I think.
Yeah, no, and she knows a lot of people, and she's got a good deal going on there. I mean, California is. I mean, if you're from California, you're the minority. It's all people from out of country who go down there to train. They're snowbirds, and that's weird. Like I don't know why then Martin raced the East Coast. Dumb.
Yeah.
Do you not look at the schedule? I mean, it was all talk for a whole year that Toronto was coming back on the grid. Like, you had a lot of time. Like, even if my visa wasn't processed in time for, the start of the West Coast, I would still go and race West rather than, jeopardize Supercross championship because my visa was not up to date. Like, gosh, people, get your head together. But I think this goes to show, may this be a lesson for everybody else out there. I know that was the problem that Dean Wilson had, 2 years ago when Toronto, before Toronto Supercross got taken off the map. But, this isn't the first person who's had an issue, but, this is a big issue when you are the current points leader of the East Coast Supercross Championship.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Well, I got to say, talking 250s, though, event results, we got to give a big shout-out to our boy Matt Basilia. Rebounding, podium, that's big.
Yeah, I mean, podium and like, on a semi-privateer team. I mean, he's riding for Dirt Candy, which is brand new to the circuit. It's a brand new team. Suzuki back helping out Matt. And, when we talked to Matt, he said, like, this is a great team. It's, they're kind of the underdogs. And they are, he's out there to show them what the bikes and what these guys can do. And he put it on the box. So good for him. And like you said, a good rebound because I know he didn't finish quite where he wanted the last couple of rounds. And it just, I think that Geico made a mistake, trading him for Jimmy D or whoever. I just think that Matt is extremely talented, and it's showing with, and I mean, not even that, though. Alex Fry, holy smokes, like, this kid is he's a rookie. He's little, too, if you see him. He's like 5'0" and like 65 pounds. The kid, he's on the KTM team, but he just came off that Factory Brigade amateur KTM team, and I know he was a good little outdoor amateur rider and stuff, but he trains at Carmichael's, and he has the pedigree that goes into this, and I mean, 4th place finish for a rookie like Alex Fry, like, congratulations, that's awesome. I just wonder what's going through his head, that's kind of paves the way to how his career is going to look out. So everyone watch out for Alex.
Yeah. So, what's that?
We got some disappointing finishes here. I'm looking through the standings on Tyler Bowers. Everyone was kind of rooting for Tyler and Tonus, and also, let's see here. I mean, we got a few guys, Aaron Plessinger and Malcolm Stewart 6th, but, Tyler Bowers back in 11th. I feel like he kind of flopped. Like, I know he's been suffering with that same weird Aspen virus or whatever from overtraining, but everyone really had, that kind of totally screws up everybody's fantasy Supercross leagues. I was voting for Tyler Bowers to come out with, podiums every weekend and really challenging Jeremy Martin for that championship, and he's disappointing me. I'm not too happy. And same with, Aaron Plessinger started off strong, and Anthony Rodriguez, like these two guys were solid last year. Anthony kind of had a bad get-off and broke his, I believe it was his femur or something really serious. But, a lot of people had their money on Anthony and Tyler Bowers to be right up there, and it's kind of flopped for me. It's been a weird East Coast series. A lot of the podium finishes have been, almost due to fluke or luck because these big crashes and not being able to get into Canada. It's just been a little weird, I think.
Yeah, well, and then we got to talk about 450s. I mean, I know I just checked the update before we went on air. Chad Reed, I know he had a scare there, but he is going to be back in Detroit, and that's straight from Chad Reed. That's like straight from the horse's mouth. I'll be in Detroit. So. There were some gnarly crashes I was watching, some pretty bad ones in the 250 right off the start. In the 450 class too, Jason Anderson got caught up with Justin Vogel, and Chad Reed went down really, really hard. But, I'm still happy Jason Anderson is sitting in a comfortable third place. I'm surprised he's only 5 points ahead of Eli Tomac right now, but the Chad DNF didn't put him back to 7, so that it's a little bit heartbreaking for me to see. He's a good guy, and I know he's an old guy, so I know when those older guys hit the ground hard, they have a harder time getting back up. So hopefully, he doesn't pull a James Stewart and can recoup pretty quickly. So yeah, for sure.
But as we did see that James Stewart, it did not line up in Toronto, and I don't know if he's going to be, or did he? Did he line up in the? I don't believe so. He's still hurt there from his crash last weekend. So, who knows if we're going to see James anymore for the rest of the season? Yeah. I don't think so. To be honest, this has been 2 really bad get-offs. When he looped out there, he hit his butt really good. He said he hasn't been able to sit down for 2 weeks. So, I wouldn't be surprised if James Stewart hangs up the boots for the rest of the Supercross season. What do you think?
No, I'm with you on that. His head's not in it, and at this point, he's got nothing to race for. He's out of it. Just get healthy, go to the outdoors, and make a run at things. Like there's no reason for him to race at this point. It's I don't know. It sucks to say that because everybody loves James Stewart, but at this point, I think he just needs to get healthy, get his head straight, and roll with it. So. But it's kind of shaking off to be a pretty boring 450 championship right now because Ryan Dungey has a huge lead over Ken Roczen, 34 points ahead of him. It's kind of crazy. And, Ken Roczen and Jason Anderson and Eli Tomac, there's not really much battling going on in there. Maybe Eli and Jason kind of for third place, but right now it's a really comfortable top 3, and I think, something like catastrophe is going to have to happen to really shake anything up. So, too bad. I really hope that someone had something for Ryan Dungey, but it just goes to show what, preparation and, all the work that he's been putting in. Like, he's just flying. He's a machine. He's untouchable. He's definitely lining up to be one of the greatest of all time in Supercross, for sure, hands down. Yeah, I agree. He's coming into his own for sure. We got to take a short break, and then I got to wrap things up here. But as always, thanks a lot, Amy, and we'll do it again next week. I know the next couple of weeks got some massive, massive guests coming on air with us.
Can't wait. It's going to be awesome, and hopefully by the end of this week, I'm going to have a dirt bike in my garage. That's right. The snow is melting. It's looking good here, and I am ready to get on 2 wheels again. So we'll talk to you next week, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Amy. All right, we're going to be back after this break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Lee Valley, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The hotel is waiting. And your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's spring room special, starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th. Based on availability. Tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Here to wrap things up on yet another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And, man, it has been a fun weekend, a fun week, and things are going to ramp up a notch even more. I'm headed off to 100 Acre Wood in Missouri, Salem, Missouri, for round 2 of the 2016 Rally America National Championship. Hopefully all you tune in this weekend. RallyAmericaRadio.com will be your home for all my coverage. Got Pastrana, Higgins, Nick Roberts, and some of the best stage rally drivers in the country. Going to be doing battle out there on one of the best rallies. One of the best rallies in North America for sure. So going to be a good one. Definitely tune in to that. And definitely this weekend we got Supercross action on tap. We got Lucas Oil kickoff there in Phoenix, short course, and we got some snowcross as well. And man, it's going to be good. Lots and lots happening this weekend. We'll have a lot to talk about next week. Lots of big guests rolling in. And I got to give a big shout out to Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish Rally School, MTX, Terracross, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Couldn't do it without all of them. And definitely, I want to give a shout out to my boys at Warfighter Made. If you're looking to support a charity, definitely support Warfighter Made. Giving back to our veterans. Had an opportunity to talk with them down on Fremont Street. If you missed that episode, definitely go back and listen to it in the archives. 3 hours of solid gold radio. But definitely support our boys at Warfighter Made. You can give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter. Ami Houde's handles are at AmiHood71 on the same. Give us a follow, Down and Dirty Show our Facebook.com/DownAndDirtyShow or DownAndDirtyShow.com for all the back episodes. You can download our app, available on Apple iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon Kindle store. And, man, it's always a pleasure to do radio for you. Thanks to everybody that tuned in from the Mint 400. Got to give a big shout-out to Cynthia Gauthier. Good luck to her at the Monster Jam World Finals this weekend. Justin Lofton, shout-out to my boy for back-to-back Mint 400 championships. And, as always, my partner in crime, Ami Houde. I am going to send things off today. Thanks for staying tuned. As always, game on.